Another week begins, and there are cards to be rated. Hey, everybody, it's day two, number 82. Number 82. Jeez. Day 282 of 10 cards rated. Let's go ahead and see what the first card is. I'm ready for BanesInvoker. I don't know if you are. This is from Commander Legends. Battle for Baldur's Gate, and only ever that set. 2 mana, 1 and a white for a 2/2 human cleric with Windwalk. Ooh, you pay 8 mana. Up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 and gain flying until end of turn. Limited little guy, and it does appear to be a little guy. This I will give. Jeez. I do like that it's a cleric. It's not going to get any extra points or anything. I think I'm just going to give it like a 2.3. Right? I mean, that is a decent activated ability, you know. It's 8 mana though. Jeez. So, sure, 2.3. I'm getting my brain in like card rating mode. I'm like, is this actually okay? No, it's not. Just keep moving. Paranormal Analyst is up next from Duskmourn House of Horror. The standard one? I assume that this was in like Commander, like Duskmourn House of Horror Commander. It's not. This is a card legal to play in Standard that I'm not sure I've ever seen. 2 mana, 1 and a blue for a 1/3 human detective. Oh, wow, it's a detective. Whenever you manifest dread, put a card you put into your graveyard this way into your hand. Oh, no. I've seen this guy. I've seen this text box. I think I recognize cards more by text box now than I do by art, which is weird. It's strange. It's never been that way before. But yeah, I know this guy. If you're doing like a manifest dread thing, then he just basically like, you know, makes a 2/2 and you draw a card. Like you draw a card whenever you manifest dread rather than having to bend something. That's actually okay if you're manifesting dread a lot, but like you're not. So how good is the guy really? I'll give him like a 4. I think he's probably like one of the best manifest dread guys for like Commander. If you feel like you have to do that. I don't think you should. I think he's probably in like the top 3. He's one of the better payoffs. I mean, it's basically draw a card. Let's go. Next is Fleshbag Marauder with 6 secret layer art here. I don't mind that. But, by Kev Walker. Yeah, Kev Walker is always welcome. This is the art I'm sort of more familiar with, I guess. Also, this one. Yeah, everybody knows that one. Shards of Alara. Yeah, the original printing was Shards of Alara. That makes some sense. 3 mana, 2 and a black for a 3/1 zombie warrior. When it comes into play, each player sacrifices a creature. Well, first of all, it sounds like an insult. You flesh bag. But this is actually an okay card for a time. I don't think it really is anymore. You know, like maybe you play like Plague Crafter or just like better effects if you're going to play guys like this in the first place. But everybody knows I've been playing like Aristocrats and Commander a few different ways, Elisel Core and the 3 mana Judith and stuff. And Dina even in green black. And I don't think I've ever really felt the need to play an effect like this. Like maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but I feel like Aristocrats just by and large sacrifice decks have these better pieces than this, but it is supposed to be better in Commander where each player is like in Standard or like any 60 card 1v1. This is basically like, you know, you lose a card and they lose a card, and we're kind of at parity. But in Commander, 3 people lose cards and you lose a card, and it's much better. You know, so again, it's supposed to be good in Commander. I just don't think it actually is anymore. I think I'm going to give Marauder a 4.3 just for the good times we've had together in the past, and we had some good times. Next is Sleight of Hand. Sick Portal Second Age art. This is the first set it was printed in, apparently, and this will cost you $8 for this. That seems like too much. So you can get one from Wilds of Eldraine for 25 cents, but if you want a really cool one, this is probably the one to get. I guess the one from Starter 1999, $1.24, I'd be willing to pay that for one of these. Anyway, this is a single blue mana for a sorcery. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. One goes into your hand, the other one goes on bottom. That's the whole card. It's in Standard right now. Going to be in Standard for a while and has seen a lot of play. It's just basically not opt, but like the next best thing to opt. You know, so we'll play this card a lot of the time. Again, in like Cash Commander, it's not as good as some other things like Ops, right? But like Preordain, right? And a bunch of other cards. So I can't give it like a super high score, but I think it's still well above a 5. Is that okay? I think if I gave this like a 6, that would probably be about right. It's still a very good card. Sleight of Hand's really good. I think, actually, let me know in the comments if you think this is higher than a 6. I'm interested because I think it might be. But next is Crawling Sensation. I like this thing, man. I built a couple of like $5 budget decks with this on the channel back in the day. It was originally printed in Shadows over Innistrad. It is 3 mana, 2 and a green for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put the 2 top cards of your library into your yard, so you can mill 2 if you want to. Whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere for the first time each turn, put a 1/1 green insect creature token onto the battlefield. So this has been in a few recent Commander releases, which I kind of like to see. This has been in Tarkir Dragonstorm Commander, Duskmourn Commander, Outlaws Commander, and I do like that they're printing this card a good bit. It shouldn't be like a $2 uncommon or anything, and I don't think it would be even if they hadn't reprinted it now. But I think that like it deserves to be a card that's played a little bit more often. You know, it has to be specifically land cards that go to your graveyard, but there's lots of ways to do that. You know, this new deck that's coming out in Edge of Eternities, one of the 2 commander decks, is all about sacking lands. So that's a way to make it happen. Any Gitrog monster shenanigans that you're doing is a way to make it happen. Milling, obviously, is a way to make it happen, so the card is like self-serving in that way some of the time. You can pop a fetch on your opponent's turn and get a 1/1 green insect in commander. I think it's fairly easy to get, on average, like 2 insects out of this per turn cycle. And that ain't half bad for a 3 mana enchantment. I really have always liked this card. And I think I'm going to give it the honorary 5 because I think that it's actually close to a 5 anyway. I think it actually is. Maybe some people would argue it's like a 3 or something, but I don't agree. I really don't. I think this is one we need to take another look at. It's a good card. But next is Baradur. So good card here. So it was originally printed in the... Guess when this was originally printed. So this is from the Lord of the Rings thing. A legendary land that enters tapped unless you control a legendary creature. You can tap it and add a black, or you can pay double X in black and tap it to Amass Orcs 1, or Amass Orcs X. Activate only if a creature died this turn. So I think it's possible we've covered this card before, but it certainly wasn't recent, so I don't mind taking a crack at it. This... First of all, should be able to come into play untapped like a lot. You're playing at least 1 legendary creature, you know. But that notwithstanding, Amass is a decent ability to just have on tap. Not too hard to make things, you know, go to the graveyard. I'm not playing this in any sack decks. It's just because I haven't ordered a copy of it. It's the only reason I'm not playing this in the mana base. Maybe I should order Baradur. It'd be funny if we have done this card before. And I told myself to order it, and I just haven't done it yet. It's possible. It's only 50 cents right now. I think that's a pretty great deal for what this actually does. You know, it can make like a 2/2 on 5 mana, but just on 3 mana, it makes a 1/1, or it puts a +1/+1 counter on the army you already have. But just for making fodder or blocking creatures, I think it's pretty good. So I'm going to give this land a 7. I think it comes into play untapped enough, you know, that it's probably worth that. But next is Even the Score from Streets of New Capenna. Boy, I wanted this card to be decent standard, and I think that the fact that it never was really says something. So this is triple blue and X for an instant. This spell costs triple blue less to cast if an opponent has drawn 4 or more cards this turn. Draw X cards. So Stroke of Genius, but better. Effectively, you know, Stroke of Genius is 2 of any in blue. It's a lot easier to cast. You'd see it a lot more often in like 2 and 3 color decks. Even the Score really does have a brutal mana cost, but it's possible to cast it without having to pay any mana, blue or otherwise for it. You just have to pay a bunch in X, you know. But that's not a bad catch-up mechanism. I kind of like that about the card, but it doesn't really come up too often. This is mostly just, you know, Stroke of Genius in Standard 3 years ago, and no one ever really played it, which kind of bugged me. Again, I think that says something. An instant speed draw X is typically pretty good. In most control decks, you'd play at least a 1 of this card, but just no one really touched it, and it kind of surprised me. I will still give this card a 5.3 because I still have some faith in it. I really do. I think that maybe you play Stroke of Genius instead, but in Commander, you know, depending on what people have out or what people are getting up to, I think it's a lot easier to activate this, you know, just pay X and draw X at instant speed mode. I think it's a good mode. So again, anything that's instant speed and draws X, I think we have to, you know, give some respect to. So 5.3 at least. Next is Chameleon Spirit from Arcadian Masks. This is 4 mana, 3 and a blue for a star illusion. As Chameleon Spirit comes into play, choose a color. Spirit's power and toughness are each equal to the number of permanents of the chosen color your opponents control. So Probably not very good, actually. It's a neat design, especially for back in the day. You know, as they were really starting to get wrinkles in their brains when it came to the Magic card design. I think this is an interesting card, if nothing else, and it's kind of cool looking. But, you know, I played a lot during Mercadian Masks, and I don't really remember this, like, at all. Not whatsoever. I do like that it's definitely the Mercadian Masks aesthetic, and that's a cool aesthetic. I always thought it was. It kind of gets a bad rap. But anyway, the card itself, let's just say, it does say your opponent's control. So, you know, if you're playing against two opponents that are on white, right? Well, then I guess this could be like an 8/8 pretty easily. If you're playing against somebody that's playing like green-white tokens or something, then like this could be, you know, 15/15 or something pretty easily, I would say. So this is cute. This has the potential to be like a pretty big blue creature, but I don't think it's actually going to happen like super often. So I'm just going to give this like a 3.5, which is actually higher than I want to give it. But again, I want to respect this a little bit. I think that on the right table, this could be a really huge guy. It really could. Next is Covenant of Minds. A lot of blue stuff today. This is from Shards of Alara. A lot of shards today. Well, no, I'm thinking of shadows. Either way. 5 mana, 4 and a blue for a sorcery. Reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Target opponent may choose one of those cards to put into your hand. If he or she doesn't, put those cards into your graveyard and draw 5 cards. I don't remember this at all. One of my favorite creatures of all time is like from Shards. Like, I've got a lot of stuff that I love from Shards. There's a Bant 3/4 Rocks Rhino that has lifelink. I love that guy. He wouldn't be great nowadays, just a decent limited dude, but I love that guy back in the day. That's from Shards. But I don't really remember this. It's sorcery speed, and therefore it's like kind of awful, you know. And the fact that it gives your opponent a choice is pretty bad. So reveal the top 3. They put 1 into your hand. So for 5 minutes sorcery speed, you get a card. And it's the land. This is really bad. This is real bad, right? This is so bad. Sneakily bad. You know, you look at it at first and you're like, oh, I'm going to draw 5. You never will. You're going to draw the one bad card from the top 3 every single time for 5 minutes sorcery speed. Get out of here. Get out of here, kid. You bottom me. That's really bad. That's so bad. 2? Not even, right? This is bad. This is really that bad. Like a 1.5. I'm pretty sure this is like dog water. That's not a good card. Arcane Adaptation, though, is really cool. This is originally printed in Ixalan. It's still about $2 right now. $3. 3 mana. Doing a blue for an enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. Same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that are not on the battlefield. So just like anything, all of your guys are the chosen type. Nasty. That's still so fun. You can do a lot of great stuff with this. You know what? We're rating for Cash Commander, baby. Like we're not the same. CDH. This is just having fun with the boys and the sisters on a Saturday night. You know, we're going to crack something open. Maybe we're going to order a little pizza. And we're just going to play with the cards we want to play with. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to do the craziest thing. We're just trying to do the most fun thing. And Arcane Adaptation is in that ballpark. So I'm going to give Arcane Adaptation a 6.4. There's no stopping me doing that. I really think there's no end to the bananigans that you can get up to with this baby. It's such a sick Magic card. It really is. And in a way, this is one of the coolest Magic cards ever printed. It actually is. Bonus card on a Monday because it's fun day. It's Ravenous Bailoff. That's a pretty good one. Originally printed in Onslaught. 4 mana, 2 and double green for a 4/4 beast. Sack a beast, gain 4 life. Amazing. In back then dollars, this is an incredible card. This is still $5 from Onslaught, really? It's still $7 from the Judge gift cards. Just get it from the Dual Decks one for 30 cents and it has the same art. But it doesn't look like a Magic card. Do you see how this like sort of looks like a card that's supposed to look like a Magic card? It kind of looks like a Magic card. You know, I could see that being a Magic card. No. This is a Magic card. Same art. Subtle changes, you know. That's a Magic card. Either way, I wasn't actually playing much during Onslaught. This was sort of the beginning of a break that I was taking from Magic the Gathering, and I remember a fair number of things from Onslaught. And I especially remember like Torment, the next set, the Wild Mongrel deck, the Madness decks and stuff. I'm pretty sure that was the next set. But if it wasn't, then that really illustrates that this is where I took the break. my knowledge kind of jumbles up in my head a little bit. But even though I wasn't playing like too much during Onslaught, this is a card that I know like very, very well. Wonderful. Back in the day, I wish I hadn't already given out the honorary 5. But I guess that gives me a chance to honestly rate this card. I think it's obviously great in beast decks. How many of those do you see every day? But I guess you could go about playing like, 5 or 6 incidentally good beasts, and then you've got Ravenous Bailoff, and that's fine. Or like maybe the other Bailoff, the one with landfall. Does it make beast tokens? That gives you some fodder for this if you need to. But one way or the other, it still looks like a card that you could make an argument for in Commander, I think. So I will give this a 4.6. I don't think that it quite like keeps up in today's meta, even in a fun meta, but I will say if you brought a deck over and you had like some little Caesars with you, in one hand you had, $5 pie, and in the other hand you're like, hey, I have a beast deck. It's got Ravenous Bailoff. I'm going to copy Ravenous Bailoff or something. I'm just going to gain a bunch of life or something. Then I'd be like, dude, yeah, awesome. That sounds incredible, So I don't know. It's a fun Magic card, and I think it still has like some playability. So like a 4.6 sounds about right. But that is it for Monday, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you all again tomorrow. I promise you much. I promise you that much. There's not much I can promise you, but that much I can. I'll see you then, guys. Bye.